and welcome to the amazing world of trading. My name is Kagiso Chidi, and today I'm going to be going through a market update on some of the major news that happened in the recent weeks. Fantastic stuff. So, one of the biggest highlights was basically the inauguration. Everybody knows that the market has been anticipating Donald Trump's inauguration since he won the election, and the fact that he's actually coming through with some new policies and he's looking at implementing change. And from the time that he actually stepped into office, he launched a bunch of executive orders that, start to implement the change that he sees the country moving in. So one thing that I would want to say is that from the time that Donald Trump got elected, from the day itself, we saw a pump of an estimated 1.5 trillion cash injection into the U.S. economy. That shows the amount of optimism that, people actually see Donald Trump, the optimism that they have that Donald Trump will lead the economy of the USA, to greener pastures. So everybody wants to be part of the winning team, and that's why you see even your major banks, your major companies that are actually, donating to the inauguration. They are more or less pledging their allegiance with Donald Trump so that they're in the good books. And that 1.5 trillion that we saw into the economy is not by default, but we know that the policies that Donald will be implementing will be having the American people at heart. So his intention is to make America great again, like we saw the mega caps. And one way that he's going to be doing this, like we saw, is tariffs. So we see a lot of talk about tariffs, and his favorite word is tariffs. So we ask ourselves, what is tariffs? So basically, tariffs is just companies or it's imported goods that are coming from countries that are not within inside the USA that are being imported in are going to be paying a higher amount of tax. So the amount of tax that's being paid is just basically to encourage more and more people to build infrastructures in development companies, as in like factories and stuff, and and also encourages people to buy more US-based products, which is a big deal. And so as you can see, Donald Trump's vision is not necessarily short-sighted, and I honestly think that he's somebody who is very pro-America, and every president should have somebody who has their people's best intentions at heart. So we're going to see how things are going to play out in the recent coming. So talking about Donald Trump getting elected into office. From the time that he won the elections, we saw Tesla jump up, we saw gold crash, we saw Bitcoin go up, we saw a bunch of cryptocurrencies go up. Basically, everybody more or less understands the agenda that Donald Trump is coming into parliament with, and we saw even Gary Gensler resigned because his views on cryptocurrencies don't align with the current president. And he's looking at starting up a new cabinet that's going to be pro-crypto, and he did actually publicly say that he wants America to be on the forefront of cryptocurrency as well as AI. He was at the Bitcoin convention, and he is more or less taking the title of the the crypto president, the crypto president. So I don't know where is he putting the president of El Salvador, because he was the first one, not necessarily the first one, but he's the biggest that was public about being pro crypto, and I think he wants to take the title from him, And looking at Donald Trump, he's having a bigger volume and a bigger impact on cryptocurrency than even the president of El Salvador. We saw Tesla doing rather well during the time of election. Obviously, ties of Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they point towards Elon Musk benefiting from the Trump victory. So we're going to be seeing Tesla getting a lot of government contracts. And some people even went as far as to say that Elon Musk is the new president, So I don't know how that's going to go. But I think they're just trying to cause a bit of tension between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Obviously, knowing that Donald Trump is a big ego, and they're trying to break, the bad boys. But I think it's not going to work. I think they can see past it, So it's going to be quite exciting. After the elections, we saw Tesla took a bit of a beating. So there's some cases with Tesla whereby there's a death robot going around, So these Teslas are not being able to get charged based on bad weather. And yeah, so people are not able to move around. So now it's a bit of an expense for them to have to get towed. And yeah, people are not really excited about the fact that now they have to occur a new expense because their cars are not able to charge and the power stations are not working. And when Tesla is being contacted, there's not really much assistance that's being offered. And I think it's because Elon Musk is busy campaigning. But anyways, um, yeah, so we're going to be seeing some changes in terms of parliament. One thing that's very important for me to talk about is the fact that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have different views on a couple of things. Elon Musk, as you know, he does EVs, which is electric vehicles, and truth be told, Donald Trump is not necessarily a person who's environmentally cautious. He's looking at creating America to be like an energy hub. He's looking at becoming an oil producer, like we saw in his last term. We saw in his last term that he made shale companies very easy for Americans to start up. He made the production of oil. There was a boom in terms of oil producers, which more or less was fighting over market share with OPEC. And although OPEC had majority of the market share, the fact that Donald Trump was making it easier for people to be able to become oil producers kept the price of oil down. And that's why even right now, the price of oil is expected to go even lower during the term of Donald Trump, because he is emphasizing or stressing a lot on energy production and taking over the Gulf of Mexico and calling it the Gulf of America, as well as taking over Canada. And when you're looking at Canada, Canada is importing around about 70% of the American crude oil that's coming in. So that amount of trade that's coming in, if Canada can be a state of America, it means that the oil that's being produced by Canada falls under the WTI, which is America, So I think Trump wanting Canada to be part of America is a strategic move, and Trump wanting the Gulf of Mexico to be called the Gulf of America is just him trying to get more territory so that he can produce more oil. All right, fantastic stuff. So besides that, Elon Musk and Donald Trump also have a bit of conflict when it comes to immigration. Donald Trump is looking at canceling the H-1 visas. Elon Musk is a big fan of the H-1 visas because the H-1 visas have a couple of benefits. H-1 visas mean that a company can hire you, being not a United States citizen, bring you into the country, you work for the company, and then if you decide to leave the company, you've run about approximately 2 months to find a new job before you have to be deported back into your country. So these type of visas are very easy to get. They're very much convenient. And for somebody who's running a company like Elon Musk, he publicly did say that he does not necessarily believe that, the best talent is only found in America, but he's looking at getting the world's talent, which is people from all over India, Pakistan, Jamaica, get them all together so that they can build this dream of his of Tesla, SpaceX, and whatever brilliant idea he's going to be having in the future. So another thing, we got to talk about some of the executive orders, because this week Trump has been so busy. This guy signed more executive orders than Joe Biden did in his whole 4 terms of office, and he did it in his first week, so it shows you about how aggressive Donald Trump is taking control over the country itself. Talking about executive orders, here's a top trader, Chad, who's going to tell us a bit more about the executive orders that Donald Trump signed into office this week.
Hi guys, so we do know that over the past few days, Donald Trump has been very active, very
a lot.
active. And basically everything that he's been speaking about, he's trying to implement it like as soon as possible. So we do know there are executive orders that were signed. Just going to go through a few of them. We know that the US has removed themselves from the World Health Organization. That will probably have some effect in some sort of way,
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of before that. I mean, the administration that came before Trump was very much about world conservation, about eco green and all of that, But Donald Trump has different views. He's more focused on creating America to become an energy hub, So I think he did a very good move, because if he did not do that, then they'll end up paying a bunch of fines to a whole lot of organizations, So I think he's moving according to what he wants to do. Yeah.
So basically, what Kagiso is talking about is Trump signing the executive order to remove the US from the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement is the climate agreement that they have. So basically, as Kagiso said, like Trump is not really environmentally friendly. He's looking at manufacturing, he's looking at making America the biggest producers of everything, basically. So some of the other executive orders that I feel are important are things like he rolled back recognition of any genders. Basically, there are only two genders
I think that was the
in the
first.
United
I think
States.
when I looked at the speech, I think it was one of the first things he talked about. When he did say his speech, I think Donald Trump does not necessarily hate gay people or people who are, you know. But I think his main concern is children under a certain age being able to decide that they're not going to be a boy or girl, and their
Also, just
parents.
being exposed to it in schools, like the teachings of
Yeah,
it. And
yeah. I feel like with that becomes a little bit too much for anybody, and people don't necessarily want to raise their kids in an environment that is encouraging them to be something that is not what they are.
another executive order that we saw Donald Trump sign was the introduction of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. So Vivek Ramaswamy has recently stepped down from his position, which he held with Elon Musk as
Eh.
basically the heads of DOGE.
So
So we just have Elon Musk left now in the Department of Government Efficiency. Obviously, he will build his team and have the appropriate people around him. But what are your thoughts on Elon Musk? Just the type of person he is and the knowledge he has. What do you see him bring into?
I think it's gonna be quite exciting. I think we need a lot of smart people. I think it's quite interesting the fact that the Vivek already resigned. I wonder what got him to resign, because he was also very much optimistic about the new role itself. I also want to say one thing. This government of efficiency, Donald Trump is not necessarily the first person to start this. I mean, we've seen this with Reagan, we've seen this with Truman, and basically, I think it's the best thing that I would say that a government efficiency does better than anything else. Spot out government corruption. You see, a lot of times you find government corruption. It goes as an umbrella, which is the top, and it waters down with people getting bribed and a whole bunch of stuff. Them not being part of government means that they get to investigate government without being part of the people who are in the
Takes
pie.
out a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, so at the same time, that government efficiency, we understand that it does not make them presidents, does not, they can't put legislation into act, but they have a closer relationship with the president that can get him to do stuff, and we know that even like people are saying that Elon Musk is president because his father, Donald Trump, is president now. But it's going to be very much exciting to see how an optimized U.S. Parliament would be, knowing that somebody's actually watching them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I believe Elon Musk, with these innovative ways, his knowledge, can probably pull back costs on just the spending to make the economy better. But let's get into some more. He also removed, so basically, with the Department of Government Efficiency, that was just the main. I'd like to say that was like the biggest executive order he signed so far, because most of the ones that he's already signed are ones that he's just bringing back in from the time when he left presidency.
Yeah.
So
one thing also we need to look at, is he actually following up on things that he talked about, which is a big thing. What do you think, based on things that he
definitely, like, especially when it comes to the two genders, that's something that was his biggest argue, or that was the thing that pushed him during the elections. One of the things that really pushed his campaign. So the fact that he's already signed some orders to try and make changes when it comes to genders and stuff like that, it shows that he's trying to get the ball rolling from day one. And another thing that I'd like to cover is the immigration. So we do know that over the past few days, Trump has announced that the cartel is basically a terrorist organization. So I believe with that, he attempts to bring crime down in the States through stopping the entering of illegal immigrants into the country. He believes they bringing in drugs and, you know, just a lot of gang-related activity into the state. So him signing that executive order to seal the border, to send more troops out to the border, it shows you that he's trying to seal it up and trying to. This was one of his biggest build the wall. We know since
Yeah.
2015, immigration has been a big policy for Trump, and he believes that with the Biden administration coming in between of his two administrations, it kind of put a halt to what he was doing. So he's looking to get back straight into it, get the ball rolling again, get the wall built. Maybe Mexico will pay for it.
Will not pay for no fucking wall. I quote. Hey, anyways.
So yeah.
Yeah, so with this whole Trump thing, man, it's very exciting. I feel like with all of these executive orders, the change that he's implementing. I saw a tweet and I saw a tweet this morning. It was like it's actually an Instagram post. They were like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it said that Putin said that if Donald Trump if Donald Trump's win of the 2020 election was not rigged, like the time he lost, if that was not rigged and Donald Trump won again, there was not going to be a war between Ukraine and Russia. So this is apparently Putin said, but you know, Instagram is Instagram, man. You know, so you never really know if this is actually true or not. But even from the time before Donald Trump got elected, he did stress out also that he's going to be applying a lot of effort towards stopping all the wars that is going on around the world. You know, so I think Donald Trump might have a plan. To say that he does not have a plan would be to write him off. And I think his business mind might yield some good profits for the country itself, because a country is actually a big business with imports, which is products that which is products that the company is making and selling. If people are buying it, if you're exporting more than you're importing, then your business is actually profitable. But if you're importing more than you're exporting, it means that your business is running at a loss. You know, so it'll be quite exciting to see the number one businessman of our century, you know, have a second run at becoming the greatest of all time. The crypto president of all time, yeah. So is there any other executive orders before?
Those were the most prominent ones.
What about the stockpiles?
The
crypto stockpiles?
So basically, he hasn't signed anything yet when it comes to crypto, but we do know his pro stance. We do know he's trying to get a strategic reserve in place. This will take a bit more time because it is a decentralized market. Obviously, it is something new to them. They have gold in their reserve. They don't have any Bitcoin in their reserve, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe they have just a little bit.
They have Bitcoin, but it's not in their reserve. What actually happened is that they have Bitcoin that they've seized from illegal activity. So what the chat was that they wanted to actually sell that Bitcoin. So that is one of the biggest concerns that was causing a lot of volatility also this week, was the fact that if the US decided to sell that amount of Bitcoin, it's going to cause probably a market crash, you see, of Bitcoin itself. And I thought honestly that they would sell it, after selling it, crash the market and then buy it at a cheaper price. But I'm glad that they did not, because a lot of people would have went broke. You know, and if Bitcoin can go to 50,000 right now, I don't think a lot of people can be able to handle that retracement. You know, so we're going to see what's actually happening with the executive orders. Also, Donald Trump did indicate that there's going to be zero gains capital tax on cryptocurrency. He did hint at that. We're waiting for him to make everything official. And there's going to be zero gains capital tax on US-based cryptocurrency. So we're talking about things like XRP, or Cardano, Aldo. Solana is also doing quite well. And so we're going to see what is happening. So you see that Solana has been doing quite well. Ripple has also been doing quite well. So for most people that don't actually know, Ripple is like number one. You know, it's like number one in terms of regulation. So most cryptocurrencies are not as regulated as Ripple, but Ripple is like the one that has the most ticks of verification. So there's also another thing whereby Elon Musk is looking at the ban. There's a ban on TikTok. You see, so
Yes, he signed an executive order. I wanted to mention that, yeah. So
yeah.
they extended the ban basically by 75 days. I'm sure they'll figure out something to get rid of it in that time. But
Well, I don't think they're gonna get rid of it. I think both Elon Musk and Donald Trump can see. They're both economists, man. They can see the amount of influence that TikTok actually has on the people. You see, that's why Elon Musk was looking at buying TikTok for I think 25 billion. You see,
yeah, the Trump actually spoke about trying to work with TikTok in a way of getting some sort of ownership or like a 40% ownership in TikTok so
Yeah.
that they can
you know,
the
you know,
privacy concerns, all the data
it's
related concerns, they
it's
can get a hold on
it's
that.
all about privacy, man. Because I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that TikTok is doing, which is very much questionable, like listening to people on their headsets and stuff. But
Recording
you know what was actually funny? I saw the CEO of TikTok during the inauguration. So I don't know what's happening, but it's like that inauguration had a whole bunch of criminals, crooks, a whole bunch of people who had tabloids. You know what I'm saying?
But
Anyways,
one more thing before we wrap up the conversation about the executive orders. Something to note is the protesters of January 6th, was it 2021? Yeah, the protesters at Capitol Hill, all of them got pardoned.
isn't
So,
talking about pardons. Donald Trump also pardoned Ross, which is the owner or the CEO of Silk Road. I don't know if you know much about Silk Road, but it's like the biggest illegal platform whereby everybody is able to buy drugs,
using
firearms,
crypto as
yeah,
the
using crypto. So basically, there's run about I think 35 billion or something like that. That is
worth of
worth of crypto, and
been
these
seized, right?
it's seized and it has been acquired through illegal proceeds of guns, drugs, and a whole bunch of stuff. You see, so Donald Trump actually gave the guy a pardon. So the guy's coming out of prison. I don't know what about his Bitcoin. If they're gonna give it back to him, doesn't make sense why they'd give it back to him. But yeah, that's on the pardons. And I saw the Hug 2 girl on the inauguration. I don't know how did she make it. Isn't she running away from the cops right now from that rug pull?
From that meme coin she created.
Yeah, from that meme coin she created, and then it tanked after she sold everything. That's the thing about meme coins. They're very much big potential to the upside, but it's not really guaranteed which one is going to pop and for how long. You're going to be the one that's going to buy when everybody's selling, which most people are. But very, very, very few seldomly you become the one that buys and the thing goes up. So you need to do your research and follow through. And over and above, trading does involve risk, and you should consult with the professional before taking a sort of investment decision upon yourself. One last thing. One of the bigger events that happened recently is the new release of Nvidia's new RTX 5090, which is the latest from Nvidia. If you take that Nvidia stocks, it has went up more than 200% in the past 12 months. It is actually doing quite well. It's one of the companies that actually were pumping during Donald Trump's inauguration. Nvidia itself, during the conference that the CEO actually had, he talked about the fact that we're a bit far away from quantitative computing, and it actually caused a whole bunch of quantitative computing stocks to actually plummet. So it shows you the amount of effect that it actually has on the tech side. And yeah, as much as optimism is about quantum computing, it's a bit more further up because we're still on the GPU phase. Yeah, quantum computing is the future, but this whole hype started when Google dropped its new quantum computer. Then the whole talk of quantum computing took off. So in relation to cryptocurrency, before everybody starts jumping onto the bandwagon, I just want to make sure that everybody understands what crypto is and where it's actually going. Right now, we're in the stages of it's the boom. Most of us, or like myself, we're not around during the .com bubble. But right now, I feel like we're transitioning in terms of finance, whereby we're moving from your fiat money and we're transitioning into cryptocurrency. That's why we're seeing a lot of legislation shifting towards the crypto sides. We're seeing companies like your MicroStrategy, we're seeing companies like your BlackRock, Fidelity buying millions and millions of cryptocurrencies by the day. So what we should be doing is that we should be looking at capitalizing and making profits from, the time and period that we are right now. And I feel like crypto, right now it's just looked at as a cryptocurrency, like for example, Bitcoin to be specific. In the next coming maybe 20 years or so, when there's no Bitcoin available in circulation and it's only available from a peer-to-peer, it's going to be more or less like digital art, Why am I talking about digital art? Is because very much digital art is one of the best things to invest in during times of inflation. And the more that I see your BlackRock, your Fidelity, and your corporate companies are investing in Bitcoin, I understand that these same companies have very much big holdings in contemporary art itself. Contemporary art is your Mona Lisas, since Mona Lisa has been, it was first sold for a few millions, then sold for a lot of millions, and right now it has recently been sold for billions. It shows you the value of something which is art, And Bitcoin, I don't necessarily see it being the cryptocurrency that we're using on a day-to-day basis because of some scalability issues. But I think that it's going to be a store of value, just like how you'd keep a Mona Lisa in your house, and then when you need to, you'd sell that Mona Lisa and buy a house. But it wouldn't be your day-to-day transaction. I think that the other cryptocurrencies that have faster transaction speeds with lower fees that are going to be taking the spotlight. But I don't think Bitcoin is going to be far away from that. I think it's going to be in the essence of everybody's portfolio. Right now, Morgan Stanley are looking at deciding whether to allow clients to invest 2% or 5% of their equity in Bitcoin in terms of their holdings. And it's funny because initially there was no amount of ETFs there was nobody who was encouraging clients to actually invest in crypto. It was deemed as a volatile asset, but we are seeing more and more people have bigger percentages of cryptocurrency within their portfolio. We're seeing Michael Saylor, he keeps on buying more and more cryptocurrency. We're seeing all of these major corporations, and I feel like the more that they're buying, the more institutionalized Bitcoin is becoming, the better it is for the coin itself because it provides stability. And it's going to slowly shift during our lifetime from being a highly volatile asset, which is very risky, to being an asset that each and every one of us has. Either you have a 0.0001 of Bitcoin, but you're going to have some sort of Bitcoin to ensure that you have some asset value. Because you need to have money in assets that appreciate in value, not depreciating, And all this talk, I'm sure, got you excited about cryptocurrency. And you'll be asking yourself, where's the best place where you could be trading cryptocurrency? All right, I got the answer for you. We're working with Tickmill, which is one of the most regulated brokers in South Africa. Has been doing business for over 10 years. Located in Sandton, Johannesburg. And the coolest thing that I like about Tickmill is the fact that I'm able to actually trade my cryptocurrencies even throughout the weekend. I know that most brokers don't allow you to trade during the weekend, but Tickmill allows you to actually be able to place trades, close trades, and basically trade it as normal even during the weekend. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Click on to the link, register for a Tickmill account. Reach out to me via WhatsApp. For a limited time only, I'll give you access to a script generator, which is by tradesupreme.ai, which is a library of scripts that you can customize for yourself, backtest, and when you're happy with the results that you have, created with the script itself, then you can actually, run the script with your own funds. I hope this content that I've created has added value to your life. I hope you making some profits in the financial market. From me, Kagiso Chidi, Trade Supreme. Thank you for your time. Like and subscribe. Peace out.